Intro 00 to 10. Archival footage of Bob Marley performing on stage. Crowds singing along. Close-up of Marley smiling, playing guitar. Footage of Jamaican streets, Trench Town, fans waving flags. Snippets from One Love, Redemption Song, and No Woman No Cry. Global tributes, murals, statues, and fans at concerts. He was more than a musician. He was a voice for the oppressed. A symbol of peace in a world torn by division. His words moved nations. His rhythm crossed oceans. He turned reggae into a global movement. This is the story of Bob Marley, the legend, the revolutionary, the king of reggae. Bob Marley, life in shorts, the legend of reggae. Early life, 1 to 3, black and white photo of baby Bob Marley. Pan over a map showing 9 Mile, Jamaica. Images of rural Jamaican village life in the 1940s. Photos of Cedella Booker and Norval Marley. Old footage of Trench Town showing poverty and vibrant street life. Early photos of the Wailers. Bob Marley was born Robert Nesta Marley on February 6, 1945, in the tiny village of 9 Mile, deep in the hills of St. Anne Parish, Jamaica. His mother, Cedella Booker, was a teenage Jamaican girl. His father, Norval Marley, was a white British naval officer over 30 years her senior. Bob barely knew him. Norval died when Bob was just 10. Raised by his mother, Bob grew up in poverty, surrounded by the challenges of rural life. In search of opportunity, Cedella moved them to Trench Town, a tough Kingston neighborhood known for its crime and its music. It was there Bob found his voice. He bonded with other young dreamers, Bunny Livingston, later Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh, over their love for American R&B, ska, and eventually reggae. In these rough streets, the Wailers were born, and so was a revolution in sound musical journey and rise to fame. 3 to 7 archival photos of young Bob, Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh. Footage of early performances in Kingston. Album covers: Catch a Fire, Rastaman Vibration, Exodus, Uprising, clips from concerts, crowd reactions, and Marley in studio. Snippets of famous songs with visuals matching. In 1963, the young trio of Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, and Peter Tosh formed the Wailers. Their early sound mixed ska and soul, but it was their hit Simmer Down that first made waves in Jamaica, urging youth to calm the violence in Kingston streets. As the 60s gave way to the 70s, Bob's sound evolved into something deeper. Reggae, a blend of rhythm, spirituality, and rebellion. Their big break came when they signed with Island Records, becoming the first reggae act to be marketed to a global rock audience. The result? The 1973 album Catch a Fire, complete with guitar solos and international production, opened the world's ears to reggae. The follow-up albums came like fire. Rastaman Vibration. 1976 brought Bob to the Billboard charts. Exodus, 1977, recorded in exile in London, was named Album of the Century by Time magazine. Uprising, 1980, would be his last album released while alive, featuring the immortal Redemption Song. Marley delivered hit after hit. No Woman No Cry, a soulful cry for comfort in hard times. One Love, a call for unity across race and religion. 3 Little Birds, a reminder to not worry about a thing. Bob wasn't just making music, he was building a message, and the world was listening. Message and Influence, 7 to 9. Footage of Bob Marley with dreadlocks, reading the Bible, and speaking about Rastafari. Close-ups of lyrics from songs like Get Up, Stand Up, and War. Footage of the 1978 One Love Peace concert. Images of Michael Manley and Edward Seaga shaking hands with Bob in the middle. Global scenes, Marley murals in Africa, Europe, and the US. Fans singing worldwide. More than just a performer, Bob Marley was a messenger. His music carried the heart of a movement. A devoted follower of the Rastafari faith, Bob believed in peace, justice, and spiritual liberation. His dreadlocks, his diet, and his way of life were deeply connected to his beliefs, and his songs were sermons. In Get Up, Stand Up, He called on the oppressed to rise. In war, he used the words of Haile Selassie to condemn racism and injustice. In 1976, during a time of extreme political violence in Jamaica, Bob survived an assassination attempt. Just 2 days later, he performed at the Smile Jamaica concert, with bullet wounds still healing. 2 years later, in a moment that defined him as more than a musician, Bob returned to the stage at the 1978 One Love Peace concert. There, in front of a roaring crowd, he brought together rival political leaders, Michael Manley and Edward Seaga, raising their hands in a powerful symbol of unity. The world took notice. From the ghettos of Kingston to the streets of Johannesburg and New York, Bob Marley's music became a global voice for freedom, for consciousness, for revolution. He didn't just spread reggae, he spread a message that still echoes across generations. Personal life, 9 to 13. Wedding photo or early images of Bob and Rai.